All right, you know how this. You got feel free to start with questions.
Coach, whenever Gino was going through his press conference, he said that if you don't schedule UConn in the future, that you'd be a big baby. What are your thoughts on this?
No, you know what? I've actually been talking. I talk with Neil, which I don't know if he's in here or not, but I know he was. I think he came down, one of their associate ADs. He's who I do the scheduling with. Gino has no idea who they schedule. I've got to call the associate AD because I can't call him. But no, I mean, we are definitely trying to continue to keep this going. The problem that we have is because we're going to 18 league games, I'm not going to play this game in January, February because I only get one bye week. And I even called the ACC office to make sure I was correct on that. And I'm not going to give up the only bye week I get to play a non-conference game. Because now I'm losing a week of being able to, if I've got some nicks and some bruises, to be able to rest some kids. And that's not fair to them. Now, when we have 2 bye weeks like we do now, I've got no problem playing the game in here. So we're trying to work on hopefully continuing the series, possibly move it to a December or November game. But we'll just have to wait and see if we can get that worked out.
How key was Dana Evans tonight? What do you think fed into her great performance?
You know what? I really thought, and I'm looking forward to watching the game, I thought Dana got the ball out of her hands better than she has all year. I've talked to her, the ball can't stick in your hands, it can't stick. And, she gets a little frustrated with me because she comes from from 4 years in high school where Dana was the player. She had to score 30-plus points a night for her high school team to win. Well, now I don't need her to score 30-plus points. I need to be able to get our offense moving, get things going, and then when she gets that ball reversed or she gets a gap to go. And tonight I thought she took some really good shots, and the ball got reversed to her. Her teammates got her open when she was away from the ball, and I'm hoping she might believe me now. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes tomorrow.
How much relief did you feel as the clock wound down and you guys, held a 9-point lead late? And is this a game that you think you can appreciate now, or is it maybe something that you have to wait until after the season ends?
No, you know what? I appreciate every game as we go. I've always said it, and everybody, they get tired of hearing the coach speak, but it's one game at a time. And, I mean, it's a huge win for our program. There's no question about it. What an unbelievable turnout we had tonight. The fans were fantastic. And I've always said it, I do appreciate the friendship that I have with Gino. And it's kudos to them, too, for being willing to play these games. I mean, they've got, I think, South Carolina on Monday of Tuesday of next week. They played Cincinnati on Saturday. So, he's willing to continue to play him, and I think it's great for our game. Win or lose, we are very fortunate, I say that. We had 10,000 here on Sunday. A game where a Pittsburgh program and Lance is going to do a great job with them, but they're in a rebuilding. They were 9-11 coming into the game, and we still have 10,000 fans show up. UConn is what pushes this over the top to get to 17,000. So he's not only obviously doing this for his team to be able to come in here and play a game like this. It helps our team. It helps our fan base. I think, I've had a few people that came up to me and said it's the first women's basketball game they've been to. Now, I asked them if they lived under a rock. But, I mean, they came, and they were like, wow, this is really impressive. I'm just shocked at how athletic they are, and what kind of players they are. And I'm like, hey, I hope you'll come back. And they were both like, hey, we are coming back for sure. So it helps us. It helps all of us when he's willing to come on the road and play like this.
Jeff, 2 things. Sort of follow up on that. You took a long drink of water. I think it was 7 seconds left in shooting the last foul shots. I'm just wondering what was going through your mind and if Gino said something to you afterwards. And the other thing, too, you talked about Dana, but, you had other kids, too, really stepped up to support them. Could you talk about that as well?
No, yeah. It was just, watching our kids go to the free throw line there the last minute and a half and make 1 of 2 each time. Made me drink a lot of water. I was wishing there was something else in it. It was a little stressful. But Gino's always been great to me. I mean, even in Final Fours and in national championship games, they've obviously had our number for a long time. But he's always been very complimentary of our program. I'm very appreciative of that. I've got the utmost respect for him. It's not easy. Everybody thinks it's easy. I mean, I think they've been to 11 straight Final Fours. I mean, guys, that's not having a bad night once the NCAA tournament starts in 44 games. Because you got to win 4 each year to get to the Final Four. I mean, it's pretty impressive. So I've got all the utmost respect for him and the entire staff. Chris has been great to me. So they're going to continue to win a lot of ball games, and it won't surprise me if they're in Tampa come April.
When Gino was in here, he was talking about part of the success that he's had, he feels, is having the right team at the right time in the right environment. Do you agree with that assessment, and do you think you have that right now with this team? Well,
I definitely agree with that. I mean, you've got to put pieces together. It's like a puzzle. It's not necessarily just the 5 best basketball players. You've got to find a team who's willing to accept the fact that if I'm not a good shooter, I'm going to rebound. I'm going to be a screener. And that's one thing our team is finally starting to accept. I've told them, you're not going to change your game in January and February. If you can't shoot the ball in January, you're not going to be able to shoot it on February the 3rd. So stop shooting it. If you want to change your game, change it in the spring, the summer, and the fall. But right now, this is your role, and they're all buying into it. And that's why we have a chance to be good. We rebounded the ball again tonight extremely well. We gave up 11 second chance points in the first half, gave up 0 in the second half. And that was a big part of why we're able to win, because we went about a 2-minute stretch, 3-minute stretch there where I thought we were trying to throw the game with some of the shots we took. And we were 0 for 6 during one stretch, but we defended. And they weren't able to go on a run, and that's the sign of a good basketball team.
Jeff, over here, both you, Asia, and Dana have kind of low-keyed the significance of this game, but when it ends...
Oh, I'm not low-keying it.
Well,
I promise you that. No, it's big.
We expect you to be jumping up and down, but when it ends, Jasmine throws the ball into the stands. When was the last time you saw somebody do that, and what do you think?
I thought she was trying to shoot. So I'm sorry. I thought they were chalking that up as a jumper for her. No, I mean,
what do you think that says?
The crowd we had here tonight, and to be able to win a basketball game, the crowd was similar to our Notre Dame crowd we had last year. They all knew that we were 0-17 here in our 12 years. So they understood the importance of this ball game. I was excited for them. It's a huge win for our program, because I think they're 206-5 now in the past 4 years. I mean, think about that, 206-5, and I'm excited to be 55-4. I mean, it's amazing what they've been able to do. So yes, it is a huge win for our program, and I'm really proud of everybody that's been a part of this program. For 12 years. Steph Norman's been here the entire time. Adrian Johnson has been here with me the entire time. But it goes to Michelle Clark-Hurd, to Beth Ann Ord, who are head coaches now. They help get this thing going. Now, I feel bad for Michelle because they play them on Saturday at Cincinnati, so she'll probably be sending me a text like, thanks, I really appreciate this. But it takes everybody. It takes everybody, our fans. And I'll say it again, you look at the crowd tonight, it's remarkable, 17,000. I just keep telling everybody about the crowd on Sunday. The team that was 0-7 in the league, and 10,000 come out. Normally, that's when nobody comes. So this was a huge win for us. I've told them you can enjoy it tonight. Then tomorrow, it's a quick turnaround, because we fly down to Clemson tomorrow. And they're 5-3 in the league. They're playing the best basketball that they've played in 6 years that we've been in the league. So it's going, we can't go down there and lay an egg. That's what I'm worried about.
Erica really didn't fill up the stat sheet today, but it seemed defensively she was key, especially going up against Katie and some of the other taller guards, and really limiting them to not good shots on defense. How big was that, and what does that say about someone who's 5'8" being able to guard someone who's 6'2", 6'3"?
No, I mean, we challenged them all. We sat there and said, you've got to make them score over you. And they did plenty of that at times. But when we get small, we have no choice. But we continue to fight. I thought they did a great job after the first half of not letting them get too low in the post to where they've got 2 feet in the paint. Now all of a sudden, all they've got to do, Nafisa and Katie Lewis is turn around and lay it up and in. But it's what's crazy about this game. Like they missed some shots that normally on film when I watch them they make, but we missed some. AC missed more wide open shots tonight than I've seen her miss all year. So it's a matter of you just got to continue to move on to the next play. And I thought Erica did a fantastic job of that. I think the most impressive thing out of this entire basketball games for both teams is you've got 27 assists and 11 turnovers. It was a pretty clean played basketball game, and the fact that it wasn't real sloppy. Both teams might not have shot it at a high percentage, but they got shots. And that was something that we've talked to our kids about. We've got to be able to get shots. And tonight, for us to only turn the ball over 5 times, and then we only got beat by 4 on the offensive glass, points-wise, speaks volumes.
Coach, one more thing about the fans. There was $10,000 raised for Raise Red tonight. Can you talk a little bit about how that opportunity came about and what the cause means to you achieving that mark with the home crowd?
Well, we like to help. I was approached by, trying to get our student body more involved in some of our women's games, and we know that that they champion the cause for pediatric cancer. So, the dean, came up with the idea of like, hey, my wife and I will donate $10. To every student that comes into their cause. And they match that. And it was great to hear that, we're able to get to the point where $10,000 was raised. And, it's what we try to do. You want to try to get your student bodies involved if you can and let them know that you care about their causes and what they have passion in, as well as trying to get them to come and learn more about our program.
Talking about his team, Gino said, and I quote, "We kind of suck this year." What do you think of his team?
You know what? That's Gino. But again, it's where they've got their program too. I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm good friends with a lot of their sports writers and their radio people, and like you'd think they gone 3 games below 500 when they get beat in the semifinals or the Final Four. I mean, am I lying?
Well, I think someone brought it up earlier. It's the first time they've lost 2 games in 6 years.
They should fire him. Are you kidding me?
Trends on the game.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. You get spoiled. You get spoiled when someone has the success that he has. And that's why I tell people all the time, and they get mad at any sports writer that writes it's a bad thing is ignorant. And I truly mean it. You're ignorant because you don't know anything about the game. You don't know how hard it is. I didn't see anybody writing about UCLA when they had their dominance that it was bad for the game. Alabama, I don't see anybody write like, why does anybody go to Alabama football home games? They win them all. Who wants to go see that? It's got to be bad for the game. It's just people that don't understand or don't watch women's sports. So this is their way to crack on it, to try to downplay it. And it's ignorance. Because I don't care what you play. I don't care if it's checkers or chess. If you can have the dominance that they've had, it is night in and night out that you're not having a bad night. That's what's amazing to me. They play as hard as anybody that I've seen on film over the last 10 years, not over the last 3 games. They do what they do, and that's why they're UConn. And we all strive to get there.
Jeff, when Gino
I was not calling you ignorant.
No, that's all right. You wouldn't be the first.
That's why I like you.
When Gino was in here, he was asked about the expanded ACC schedule and whether this series would continue, and he said that if you were to pull out, that you would be a big baby. Will you commit to playing UConn in the future?
Oh, yeah, I have. I've talked to him. No, we are planning to play. Now, I've got to get them or him not to be a big baby and think it has to be in January or February. Like, I'm not going to give up my only bye week to play a non-conference game. It's not fair to my kids. So I've told him I'm willing to do it in November, December, and even late December. But I can't do it in January and February. It's just not fair to them.
Jeff, we've known for obviously a while that Asia seems to play her best in the big games. I'm thinking Ohio State and Notre Dame last season. But tonight, the 3 threes in a row in the second quarter to put you ahead for good. Does she do anything that surprises you anymore? Can you?
No. I mean, she's as good as she is for a reason. She spends more time in the gym. I mean, she reminds me of Shoni Schimmel, Angel McCoughtry. The great players are great because they've invested in themselves. They have a passion for what they do. You just don't show up at practice and do what she does. You know, it's the hours that she's put in the gym before she even got here, back before high school, in grade school, in middle school. That's why she's able to do what she does. And that's what all the great ones, it's not just her. So no, nothing really surprises me.
She missed her first 4 shots. Is there like a tell that she has where you can say like, okay, like she's getting warmed up now?
No, there's really, I mean, I told her after the first quarter, I'll tell you what I told her. I told her to smile. You know, she was sitting on the chair and right there, and I was like, smile. I mean, put a smile on your face. I said, it's 21-21, and you haven't made a shot. It's because you've got great teammates that you play with. Embrace that and enjoy it. And she she smiled and she said, I do have great teammates. I know I do. You know, and not only did that, I think, give her a little confidence too, but I think her teammates all heard that too. And that's what makes her unique, is like, she wants everybody to do well. I mean, I have to get on her sometimes because I think sometimes she passes up shot and tries to make passes. I'm like, hey, just shoot the ball. But that's what makes her as special as she is.
Coach Ariema said that he could see this team being a Final Four team. A little bit more than halfway through the season, where do you see this Louisville team at? And I guess what kind of grade, if you had to assess them, would you give?
Well, we have a chance. I mean, there's no doubt. We're 21. We just beat a very good UConn team. You know, what I was excited about, and I think Saturday is going to be a big tell for us. Because we had some players like Kylie Shook only played 5 minutes tonight. Mikasa played 10. Well, in a game like this, they're basically 5 guards. So and I told Kylie up front, I'm like, hey, this might be a game that it's a little bit more difficult because they're going to look to rip and drive on you. I go, but now how you handle this is going to let me know how good we have a chance to be. Because now on Saturday, Clemson has more traditional post players. So I've got to have her come ready to play, and you can't be upset that you might not have played as much as you wanted to in this game. And that goes for a few of them. Games present different opportunities. And as a coach, I've got to try to figure out what's the best substitution pattern, who needs to be out there for that game.
Jeff, if Jasmine gives you a double-double every night, what does it open up for this team, and what dimension if she can score those mid-range and rebound that way?
That's what she has to do. I mean, that's the one thing that I've talked to her about. Her pull-up jump shot is where, that's her go-to. And I challenged her the last 2 days in practice, and she wasn't very happy with me at times. But I told her they aren't going to guard you, and it's not by accident. You haven't proven that you can make that three, but don't get upset about it. What are you good at? You're really good at a pull-up, so look to take it. And I was really, really happy for her. She had that one on transition. She goes in for a layup. No one picks her up. And then I think 2 or 3 times, next couple times down the floor, she hit that pull-up jumper from the elbow. And, Coach Purcell has been working on her on staying with her follow-through, and it goes in. And she played that way at Florida State, too. It's the same way she played at Florida State. And that's, if we're going to be a chance to a team that get to a Final Four, that she's got to continue to do that for us. There's no doubt.
Where does this rank for you among big wins that you've had in your tenure here? And when you're thinking of which of those games is most important, are you looking at it in a vacuum at just the game itself or at the overall implications for that season?
Well, it's a huge game. I mean, there's no question. I mean, it's nice to not have a 0 on the left side of the column every time you look at UConn's name of our record against them. So it's nice to have a 1. I tell people, I love what I do. But like tonight, if my kids are up when I get home, and they probably won't be, first thing tomorrow morning, we'll be playing junior Monopoly. You know, when I go home, I love being with my family. This is not my life, but I do love it. So I look at this, and it's a huge win. There's no question about it. It's exciting, but I don't rank them. It's not like I go home and move this win up to that win. Because the thing about it is, and I truly mean it, I haven't scored a point in 12 years. These kids, I tell them all the time, the reason I coach the way I do and I challenge them the way I do is I want them to experience a Final Four. Because can you only imagine what it's like as a player to be out there playing in that game? As a coach, sure, it's fun, it's great, but golly, the excitement those kids go through going out for warm-ups and warming up and then playing the game, that's what I want them to experience. And we've been fortunate enough here that every player that's stayed 4 years and has had an opportunity to do that. Now, our goal is to win the whole thing, but that's pretty challenging too, but that's definitely our goal.
Coach, you let Asia rest Sunday. You think that was helpful to her teammates to play without her coming into this game?
Well, yeah, I think it's always, that opportunity for me to sit Asia gave a few of the other ones the opportunity to just do a little bit more and to see that they can. I was really impressed with our first half against Pittsburgh. I mean, it's 41-12, and they make 2 threes in the last, like, two and a half of that second quarter to get to 12. So I thought defensively we were fantastic. We rebounded the ball, and that's good for them. Because it's good for a few of them to see, hey, this is what we can do. Because tonight was a perfect example. Asia doesn't score in the first quarter, but it's 21-21.
Come Monday, there's going to be some voters, some coaches that may put your team at the top of the ballot. If you happen to be number one, is that something that you're going to be proud of? Is that something that you're going to be thinking about? Or is it just, again, focus on the next game?
No, I mean, we have to win on Saturday first. Because like I told him at half court, nobody's going to care about Thursday night if you don't go down Saturday and take care of business and come out and compete, because it's not going to be an easy basketball game. But I will tell you that, I don't think I've ever been a part of a program that's been ranked number one during the regular season. I've only been in 06 at Maryland when we won the national championship. That's when I want to be ranked number one. At the end of the year is what we play for. And it's something that we haven't attained yet, but we're definitely continuing to strive for it. It would be a compliment to our program, but at the same time, the ultimate goal is come April. But I will say, I don't think there's anybody in here that's followed us for 12 years or written about us for 12 years that would have ever have imagined that in one season there's a 1 versus 2 game and Louisville women's basketball is playing in that. And then there's a 2 versus 3 game, and Louisville women's basketball is playing in that. I mean, you're looking at a program that had never gotten past the second round of the NCAA tournament. And these young women who've been a part of this for 12 years are the reason we are where we are. And it's a tribute and a credit to them. Patricia Barlow was here tonight, and Antonita Slaughter was here tonight with her entire army. She has triplets. I mean, it's amazing, and she has 4 children. It's and had them all here, I think, at the ball game. I mean, if you want to see something enjoyable, you need to follow her on social media. She gives you a whole day of how she gets all of them set to go to their basketball games because her husband's an assistant coach at SEMO, and it is absolutely amazing. My wife and I watch it, and like, how in the world does she do it? And she's here. Patricia Barlow, Keisha Hines is here. Like, we had players that played here 10 years ago that are still a part of this because they're the ones that helped build it to where it is.